Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa antabi'un bi ihsanin ila yawmiddin, amma ba'd. So as we try to complete what we had started in discussing the book that is titled Sagal al-Dawah wa Duwat, and this particular book is written by one of the Shaykh from Yemen, and as we said that the Shaykh name is Abu Ammar, Muhammad ibn Abdullah Ba Musa. So one of the Shaykh from Yemen who have written this particular book just to highlight certain things regarding the Dawah and things that one should be mindful of and be careful of, that if these things were to occur, then this can have a negative impact on the Dawah. So he tried to concentrate on two things, which is regarding concern the Dawah, and also which principles to be followed regarding the Dawah, and also matters regarding Duwat. So those are the two things that he tries to cover regarding those things that one should be mindful of regarding how to preserve the Dawah, and also the Duwat, that they are focused on the Dawah and also approaching in the correct way. So we have mentioned that he divided this book into three parts or three sections that he tries to cover. That the first that he discussed concerning that of the setback of the Dawah, that it falls into three areas as he mentions, and he mentioned the first being ad-daf ad-daf fi deen, where a person of weakness in his their deen. So you'll find that there is a weakness in a person's deen, then this also can have a negative impact on the Dawah. So the person, the da'i, that weakness in his deen, and he mentioned regarding that he lists certain things that this weakness may manifest in the da'i. So certain things that may manifest in the da'i, that this shows a weakness in his deen. And some of those things, as we mentioned, that some of those things, they may not be of things that are openly apparent, but are things that are there, and these things can have a drastic impact regarding the da'i. So he mentioned regarding ad-daf al-ikhlas, then he mentioned cases regarding ad-daf al-ikhlas, where it is expected for the da'i to have ikhlas, but at times ikhlas may not be the priority or given its attention. And also mentioned ta'alum, where also the person might have a love of dhuhur, also hub al-shuhra, and things that can have that negative impact. Then after then, and in this other thing that we had covered, then he mentioned the second area of the weakness in the Dawah is regarding concern again the da'i. So the weakness in the Dawah, it goes back to the da'i in most part. Then the second area that he mentioned is daf al-ilm. The second area where things might the things may go wrong is the person, the da'i, regarding daf fil ilm, where the person of a weakness regarding your knowledge. So if the knowledge is not sound, it's not as it should, then this also can create a problem regarding the dawah coming from the da'i itself. So a misrepresentation by way of the da'i due to weakness and not being equipped regarding matters related to the dawah. So his level of credentials regarding his level of knowledge, his way of scholarship regarding the dawah, then this also needs to be looked at. So I mentioned regarding concern of the person, we mentioned the person not being qualified regarding his training. So the da'i not having the proper training regarding the dawah and things to be studied. So this to mention that the person regarding the dawah, that the person should have spent some time in studying Islam. The ulama have a discussion regarding as to the length of time for the person to learn all the usul. So the usul in sense of one, the person have covered different areas of Islamic studies and training. So the person have studied. So regarding concerning Quran and tafsir al-Quran, ulum al-Quran, usul al-tafsir. So the person have covered those areas regarding al-Quran wa ulum al-Quran. Second of those areas to be covered, matter regarding hadith. So the person have studied books of hadith, so studied some books of hadith. Also ilm al-mustalah, know some matters regarding ilm jar wa ta'adil by way of his qawahid, which is a part of ilm al-mustalah. Also I've gone through some of the shurahat, some of the explanation of the books of the sunnah or books of hadith, and I've read these books. Then also, and know concerning book that relates to at-takhrij al-hadith, that will give us some clarity regarding hadith being authentic or not being authentic. So the da'i have gone through a process of studying matters regarding ilm al-hadith and its related science. Also matters regarding al-fiqh. So also for the da'i, I must have studied to a certain to some degree matters relating to al-fiqh, and that would include concerning fiqh, and that would mean concerning all the abwab of fiqh, from bab tahara to the last bab of of qada and the likes. So the person of study regarding ibadat, mu'amalat, matters regarding al-hudud, matters regarding ahkam al-nikah, wa talaq, and the likes, and buyu. So the person of the da'i should have gone through all those abwab al-fiqh. And also that they have studied usul al-fiqh, so they have a system in place that is established by the ulama, that regarding how to identify what are said to be the masadir at-tashri', what are the sources that a person go back to as a reference, and also the person knowing matters regarding the qawaid, regarding istinbat, so knowing the rules and regulation regarding how to extract rulings and the likes. Then also the person studying concerning matter regarding aqidah, what tawheed. So the person also studied matters regarding aqidah, tawheed, and to also to some extent matter regarding al-adyan wal-faraq. Then also the person have studied regarding the different sects amongst the Muslims, and what has been said by the ulama regarding them. And also they have studied regarding to some extent al-adyan, different religion. So the person has studied these things as a part of establishing a foundation regarding the da'i. And also the ulama discussed concerning that person, how much time is required for the person to have studied all these usul. Now some mentioned 5 years the least. So there's a person get all the usul, so tahsil, regarding the person learn the fundamentals regarding the different sciences. That as for our time, one of the mashaykh from Urdun, I've written like a book regarding this matter where he mentioned regarding the aqwal of the ulama, that what they have said regarding it. So of those who mentioned that 5 years, some have mentioned 7, so between 7 and 8 years. Now so the person of between 5 and 7 years, that a person have kind of somewhat put some time in studying just the usul. So the person have good foundation regarding all the years of studies. So it requires it's not 1 year, it's not 2 year on and off, but a person have put some time regarding studying concerning those science, and also the books that relate to this, as we discussed, regarding the person that knowing the shuyukh that he have studied with, and also the book that they have studied with that sheikh. So those are things to look at regarding consider the person level of ilmiyyah for him to be qualified to be giving dawah publicly. So we mentioned if the person are witnessing these things, they'll find a weakness regarding a person. So the author, rahimahullah, or hafidullah, he discussed those things in length. We mentioned some points, not all the points that he mentioned. So of the other point that he mentioned, that of the thing that you'll find, if the person doesn't have a strong ilm regarding ulum shari'iyah, you'll find concern the person that at times that things are not balanced. And also the person that you have a tanaqud, that a person also that you have these at times they say one thing and then they contradict themselves again based upon the principle that they are following is not one and the same. And also you find that hizbiyah in the person that so these things, and also they fall into ta'assub towards a madhahib or ta'assub towards ashkhas. Then you find that these things start to change the person's perspective regarding how he looks on things. So the Shaykh he mentioned, and also that he mentioned of the things that he trying to reflect, also try to discuss more so things that occur maybe in Yemen, and also amongst concerning the duwat of the sunnah, including concerning as-salafiyya in general, regarding those things that have creeped into the dawah. Of the things he mentioned, at-tabdiya bil-ma'asi, where sometimes some people that tabdiya is made upon them based upon ma'asi. Also he mentioned regarding concerning al-khilaf بسبب ترحم على بعض أهل البدع, that also you find that between the duwat of the sunnah or claim of the people of sunnah, that sometimes they pass judgment on each other, and also you find khilaf, difference, split, there's split between them based upon matter regarding that if you make tarahum, that you say for a person who passed away, and if the people of you see the person of some mukhalafat or bidah, to say rahimahullah, they see that as something where they will make hajar or they make tabdi upon a person for those things. So they create difference and split between themselves on matters like these. If a person wants to even in any way acknowledge someone from what they refer that they see to be from Ahl Bidah wal Mukhalifin, then they see it as something for the person to be attacked because of these things. And also tasalsul al-hajar, man lam yahjur, that also this chain reaction regarding al-hajar. If you don't make hajar of the person, for this person, then they make hajar of you. Or you don't make tabdi for this person, then they make tabdi upon you. So you find these things that they have creeped into the dawah and is applied somewhat to some and not applied to others. And at times that in this ilmiya, what they consider to be ilmiya, that sometimes they'll give people udhr, like excuse for others, where the next person, they will not give them excuse. So one person is excused, as for the other person, is not. And also concerning that, he mentioned tajawuzat, where people have also, they go to extreme, and tajawuz, they go beyond the ad regarding matters regarding not paying attention to the adab of Islam regarding al-rudud, and also matters in general regarding how one deal with people who are mukhalif, and also in matters regarding al-ijtihad. So matters regarding that an alim or ulama passing their own judgment on a matter based upon what of the information that have come to them, they pass that judgment. Sometimes people may go overboard on those topics and not know how to approach it in a balanced, proper way, because they haven't studied concerning dawabit al-khilaf wal adab al-khilaf. So you find these things that have occurred, that the Shaykh mentioned, many of these things, tahdhir min as-sakit, where at times they will pass based upon their ilmiya is weak, that they mention it, tahdhir min as-sakit, that a person whom they see, who as he mentioned, tahdhir min as-sakit في حكم على بعض الدواة أو متوقف فيهم ليتذ له أخطاءهم, that at times that they'll have this approach regarding that they'll warn against others who have not openly speak about something that they ought to be a matter that they seem to be of importance, which is importance in the sense of some of the duwat, that you haven't spoken about certain duwat publicly, then they see it as something because you're silent on the matter and not publicly criticizing certain duwat or warning against certain duwat, then it becomes an attack upon you. Then you become someone to be warned against. And also, or they make tawakkuf, that is somewhat, they'll hold back on that person. They have a cautious approach, they have become cautious regarding a person because you haven't per se, and they become cautious about a person to see what are the errors that you bear. So they're looking to try to find your errors, and so they all kind of somewhat tawakkuf until they know of your errors. So these are the things that he mentioned, and other things regarding daf al-ilm. So we're going to the third matter that he covers regarding matters related to daf al-aql. Daf al-aql, where the person have weakness in their aql regarding concerning how the person look at things, the person level of maturity in approaching things, and the use of how the person is able to put things in their right proper order and place. It will discuss concerning this now topics. This is the third of the three of the area you find that calamities occur regarding the dawah. Daf al-din, daf al-ilm, what third? Daf al-aql. So regarding concerning daf al-aql, that he mentioned regarding concern that at times you'll find that qillat al-ilm, qillat al-aql, that a person is not very the person in his approach regarding thing, he doesn't use much wisdom, and also doesn't approaching in a sensible way. Also the person of weakness regarding his aql, with a person that is easily bullied by others. He's easily bullied by others regarding concerning that academic bullying. So academic bullying, and also the person sometimes that he has fear of others, that so the person that they fall into because of qillat al-aql, that a person not have one that very mature, very sensible how they approach things, and also not putting things in their proper order and place. So I mentioned of those things regarding daf al-aql, that he mentioned that of those concerning that shidda fi mawtin and lean, where a person because of the weakness in their aql, of their intellect, and how they look at things, at times shidda, where a person may be very stern, fi mawtin and lean, in places where they should be more open, more lenient, they are not. Lean fi mawtin and shidda, and also the person sometimes may be somewhat very more open in places where he should be more lenient, in places that he should be more stern. So the person is unable to put those things in their right place. So when it is required for the person that shidda, he displays shidda, he use shidda, harshness, when it is required for him to be more lenient and more tolerant. And also, when it's time for him to shidda is required, then the person become very lean. He become very tolerant. So not putting those things in their place, right order. So it is mentioned by Sufyan al-Thawri rahimahullah, where he mentioned tadur ma rifq. So regarding concern that he mentioned that regarding ashab, he mentioned atadruna ma rifq. Do you know what is a rifq? فقال قل قال. Then he mentioned, saying, أن تدها الأمور مواضعها. That is placing things in their proper place. So regarding concern the person being able وشدة في موطنه, that the person able to put shidda when it is required, واللين في موضعه, and also being lenient in its place, was safe for the mawdi, and also the person using safe when it is required. So everything was sought في mawdi, and also the whip when it is required. So everything is needed in its proper place. So at times a person should have shidda when it is required, and also the person being somewhat tolerant when it is required, but putting everything in their proper order. So they mention al-jumud, the person not to be having this approach of always as if he's fighting against everyone else, not having that approach. So regarding concerning that matter is putting things in their right order. So you mentioned a shidda when it's required, and also a lean when also is required. So when being firm is required, then a person should apply it accordingly, and that requires aql. And also, and if it is done not in its right place, and a person is not using intellect properly. And also a lean, the person is tolerant when it is required. And the person will still use it when it is not required, then the person not using his intellect as it should. Also I mentioned regarding daf al-aql, of the thing that he mentioned, Adam tathabbut fi naql akhbar. So also of those things that he mentioned is in the area of daf al-aql, Adam tathabbut fi naql al-akbar. So also the person that not verifying information that have reached them. So the things for the Muslim regarding of the person with intellect, of sound mind and reasoning, and especially for the da'i, is that he's able, regarding concerning information that come to that may be brought to his attention or have reached him, that a person go through of a process that he follows, which is tathabbut. What are those matters regarding things that have come to attention regarding people who are from Ahl Mukhalif, the people of Mukhalafat, or the people of Ahl Sunnah? So information, the person that try to verify things for the dahi before he comments on those things or he spread of those things. So it's a sign that a person is not a person of intellect and of sound reasoning if he does not verify things. Then he's going to make himself look somewhat stupid, because he's not verifying things. So not because the information about, or sometimes something have come to your attention about people you see as on the other side, then you're quick to comment, or you're quick to pass a judgment. And when and things regarding our own, then we somewhat will go to a different process. So for the person, in all case, information have come to him, then the first step is to tathabbut. So adam tathabbut fil akhbar. Then this is something that leads to the destruction of the da'i. And the Shaykh mentioned that of those things is considered of the person's khuluq, of the person the characters of the Muslim, and of the manners of the Muslim. He mentioned tathabbut fil akhbar, that a person that he tries to confirm things before he comments on those things or pass on those information. As subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, in ja'akum fasikun binaba'in fatabayyanu, that if, as Allah mentioned, in ja'akum fasikun, if the information of a fasik have brought to you information, binaba'in, be information, fatabayyanu, then he mentioned fatabayyanu or fatathabbatu, or that you should confirm that information or to verify that information. So information have come to attention. For the da'i, it is important that they are clarified, especially regarding matters that have come to attention or come to the da'i attention regarding information about people who are known to be the du'at of Ahl Sunnah, that a person that is known and also acknowledge and also affirm to himself the Sunnah and known to have defended the Sunnah. If things have come to us regarding that person that is contrary to what is the person is known for, then we should try to verify those things. And that means concerning the ulama, the mashaykh, and the talabat al-ilm. So regarding matters that have come to attention regarding people who are known to be people of the Sunnah and have known to serve the Sunnah and defend the Sunnah, then one should try to verify those information and check them. So concerning Mashaykh or the ulama, the Mashaykh, Talabat al-Ilm, then we should verify information of all the people, and more so regarding people of Ahl Sunnah that are known to be of the Sunnah, before we kind of somewhat start to attack and say disparaging things about them. As I mentioned, فإن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيب قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. So the consequence that a person does not verify things that have come to attention, then by passing and acting upon those things that you may do things out of ignorance by not verifying things, and by this that a person may fall into things where later on that you are regretful of what you did. You're regretful of what you have done. So it's important for the da'i that he verify things regarding things that have come to his attention. And as mentioned by Imam Muslim rahimahullah in his Muqaddimah min Hadith Abu Hurairah anhu, where the Prophet mentioned كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ كَذِبًا, it is sufficient for a person to be considered to be a liar, and يُحَدِّث بِكُلِّ مَا سَمِعَ. That كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ كَذِبًا, for a person to be taken as a liar by him repeating everything that you have heard. So it's important for the person, the da'i, that he verify things before he especially go public in commenting on those things, especially concerning things that may be disparaging about others, especially the people of the Sunnah. And also regarding concerning khusum, al-khusum, people that you may have a disagreement with, then just try to still verify the information regarding them. So it's wajib upon, and especially said regarding concerning, as mentioned by some of the Mashaykh of them, that they mention as Shaykh al-Wasabi, one of the Mashaykh from Al-Yemen, Shaykh Muhammad Abdul Wahab al-Wasabi rahimahullah, that mentioned Awsa Ikhwani, that he mentioned Awsa Ikhwani, that I advise my brothers, Ahl Sunnah, from the people of the Sunnah, Jami'an, all of them, بِتَثَبُّتْ بِمَا يَسْمَعْ and Ahl Ilm, that you verify things that have come to your attention or you have heard regarding the people of Ilm. So that's concerning the principle that is followed, that the people of the Sunnah, that وَغَيْرِهِمْ مِنْ طَلَبَةِ الْعِلْمِ, and anyone and other than them from the people of Ilm. So people are known to be people of the Dawah, people are known to be of the Sunnah in most part, then to verify information that have come to your attention, and before acting out of ignorance based upon not verifying that information. Then so that's of those things that he mentioned, and a lot of the problem that we find today is based upon those things, that a lot of the regarding concerning that the detriment regarding the dawah, regarding concerning that people not using their intellect, is by not verifying information, not verifying things. Then I mentioned regarding another point that they mentioned of the process regarding concerning that when information is being outside, isha'at, things regarding things that are being spread, how now to approach it. They mentioned like a process that one should follow. Mention Ijra al-awwal, the first process regarding thing that is widespread, thing that is just floating information that is going around. The first process, tathabbut, that a person try to verify those information. So the first process regarding thing that is being passed around, especially today in our time, we have concerning on these platforms, that a first step regarding thing that is being mentioned by people of the Sunnah or people involved in the Dawah. I mentioned the first process, tathabbut min al-akhbar wa isha'at, to verify the information that is being spread. Ijra'at al-thani, the second process, rad ala hadhihi isha'at, the person needs to refute this. He mentioned the adilla wal barahin, that a person refute these things with adilla wal barahin, and with proof, wal hujaj. So the person that thinks to be, if those matters have been verified, then the second process, if the person need to clarify, the person do so with hujjah, not per se just to cuss the other person out. That's easy for anyone, and to call names and to throw attack on the person. So the person do so by noting the points that a person fell into error, and the person then start to clarify those things with hujjah, with proofs. So not per se just to cuss out the person or just to attack the person, but the person do so in an academic way, with ilm. Nam, then I mentioned the second process of sentence, رد على هذه الأشاعات والأخبار بالأدلة والبراهين والحجة الباهرة قاهرة. So the person does so with clear proofs, and something I find that the person of the downfall of some of the du'at, that sometimes they try to refute something, but their refutation itself is weak. So sometimes the refutation that is being put forward by some of the du'at, that itself also is weak. So they kind of somewhat, they open themselves again to be criticized because of the evidence that they're putting forward is not really a solid evidence. So now they become open for criticism, and we see this occur at times. Then the third process, إجراءات الثالث, you mention البات and مصادر إشاعات, that a person then he tries to find the source of where this is coming from. So going back to the source of this thing that is being spread, that is being passed around, what's the source of this? So again, regarding concerning that I mentioned, if one have gone back, if there's a maslaha to the person of the way, if there's a maslaha for a person to respond, then it is done because there's a maslaha. And if there's no maslaha, then the person has somewhat, then just leave it. For the person then to weigh up those things regarding that, if there's a maslaha for those things to be clarified, then it is done so properly. If there's a need for such, as sometimes something may be spread, and the person has somewhat, brought it to attention where now they've given this thing more spotlight than it actually deserves. You give it more spotlight and more attention than it truly deserves. Then Sheikh, he mentioned something that something maybe that sometimes is discussed, but we're just going to somewhat mention الغفلة عن مدسسين والمنافقين في الدعوة من جهات مختلفة. Of the things that Sheikh have put forward, that of those matters he mentioned, الغفلة, regarding that, to be mindful regarding at times that people may be placed in the dawah to create confusion. So people being plants, as they say. So people being put into the dawah and being prompt and giving certain exposure, and they serve a purpose for other than the dawah. They serve concerning the service of they serve the purpose of others, which is going to somewhat tashwish, going to somewhat to put a bad light on the dawah. So sometimes they mention that sometimes these things may occur. Those things require concern. That's regarding. So those matters are matters regarding identifying who and such. These are things that requires a thabbut. So regarding concern, it may and can occur regarding people being placed in the dawah or giving certain type of giving certain platforms and being as a plant in the dawah. But we have said that people that so at times that this can occur, and the enemies of Islam, they have done it in the past, and we believe that they will still do it today and in the future, where they put people or prompt certain people or give certain people as a way of for those people to create this type of small stream for the dawah. So it could be individuals and the likes. So for the person to be mindful of this, that people sometimes that they are given a platform regarding the dawah and they serve a purpose other than the dawah, and they're being placed there or being somewhat being recognized by others because they serve the purpose of others, which is that tashwish, which is going to somewhat to put confusion in the dawah. So it is sometimes to be mindful of. At times it's going to be, and that the enemies of Islam regarding a dawah from the shaitan, that the shaitan may be a part of this, the Yahud, Nasara, Mushrikeen, Munafiqeen, Ada al-Islam, in whatever form that they may come, that at times they'll place people, give people a platform in the dawah, but those persons, they serve a purpose other than the dawah. But it's the matter that so have to be mindful of this regarding of the munafiqeen. It occurred in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, so the people, the munafiqeen that enter Islam, kind of somewhat to attack Islam from internal. So we believe that this happened then, and this will happen today, and will continue ila yawm al-qiyamah. That regarding the munafiqeen and the likes that are placed in the dawah, but to serve a purpose other than the dawah. But this matter that not well, for one that he mentioned as something that I mentioned, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, hadith he mentioned, a part of the hadith mentioned, inna minkum munafirin. Also regarding of a sign of the person, I said that by way of concern that people being placed in dawah, that's concerned that the persons that weak-minded people who will do of this, people who want to see to the detriment of Islam may fall into this. So people who are the munafiq, who want to see the detriment of Islam, they are the people who can somewhat they do of this. So a person can somewhat to be mindful of this, and that at times we may have people who are given the spotlight, but they serve a purpose other than what we would want of them to serve. Then I mentioned the next point regarding inna minkum munafirin. Also of those things regarding of daf al-aql, that the Prophet ﷺ somewhat he cautioned regarding that he mentioned in the hadith that is muttafaqun alayh in the Bukhari and Muslim, with the hadith of Ibn Mas'ud, where the Prophet ﷺ, a part of the hadith the Prophet mentioned, with the hadith he mentioned yassiru wa la ta'assiru, that you should make things easy and not things make difficult. وَبَشِّرُوا وَلَا تُنَفِّرُوا, that also that you should give glad tidings, bring good to the people. وَلَا تُنَفِّرُوا, and also that you not to scare the people away, not to scare the people away. So regarding concerning du'at of those things that they have to pay attention to, and the person level of maturity regarding their mindset, that look to themselves to see, am I of those who am I pushing, scaring the people away from Islam by the way of how I'm approaching my dawah, or am I able to serve the dawah rightfully? So for one to be mindful of this. So for one to be mindful, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, yassiru, make things easy, wala tu'assiru, and not make things difficult. So if the person weigh up ourselves, so each of the du'at, to weigh oneself. Am I of those who are making things easier? I would say that and everyone can maybe fall short in a particular thing, but in most part, am I seen as one who's making things easy for the Muslim and not making things difficult or putting unnecessary burden upon the Muslim? Also, am I of those who try to always bring glad tidings, goodness to the people? Or am I seen as one who's making things difficult for the people, where I'm uniting the Muslim upon the Sunnah? Or am I one who's the Muslim are trying to flee from whatever I'm trying to bring to them? So the person to look at this matter. And each person might say, no, because we might have we have our own groups and our own pockets that we try to appease, but to see our general, how we are looked upon by, especially concerning the other du'at. Do other du'at, first in line, see who are the person that, what class, what category you find into. Those people make things easy, make things somewhat enticing for the people, or you're making things too difficult. So the person look first to see who are those du'at and what they have to say about me and how I am approaching things. So as for the awam and Muslim, put them aside. So but to see the du'at, not the du'at who are a part of your circle or your little group, to see concerning the general du'at that they are mukhlis, and also that they are willing to give you a nasiha, that would they see you as you are one who make things somewhat more pleasant for the Muslim, or you're making things too difficult upon a Muslim, and see what is the outcome. So the Prophet mentioned, inna minkum munafirin, that amongst you are those who will run the people away, and there are people who are like that because they are not approaching the dawah properly. They are not approaching the dawah properly. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, ud'u ila sabili rabbik bil hikmah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned regarding that for the dawah, the person involved in dawah, that mentioned ud'u ila sabili rabbik, that you have to call to your Lord bil hikmah, with hikmah. As we mentioned, wada shay fi makan, concerning hikmah is the person being able to put things in their proper place and order. Regarding the dawah, that requires understanding of the dawah and how to apply things accordingly. So that's of those things the Shaykh mentioned. Of those things, we'll find that Ustadh, unfortunately, you find that some of the people are said to be of the du'at of the sunnah. That you find that they seem as if they're always at war with others. And the dawah seem as if they're always Nam, Alhamdulillah. So we continue, inshallah ta'ala. So that alarm was a fast alarm, hopefully, inshallah ta'ala. So as the Shaykh mentioned regarding of those points regarding concerning of those setbacks regarding the da'wah, more so regarding the da'i. So I said of those setbacks that he mentioned regarding of the da'i, that not to be of those who are seen that as how the person generally perceived by others, that a person that is always at war with other Muslims. So the person so for the da'i to be in or to be seen as such, that his dawah is always in confrontation with others, with everyone except for those who are with you, then that is something a person needs to review, something to be reviewed. So I found to know that unfortunately regarding concern to know that some of the dawah that even of those who are said to be by the sunnah, that their dawah in most part are always seem to be something which is it's against the Muslim, unless you are with them. So I said that's not the way concerning. As for Dawah to Salafiyah is contrary to this. So Dawah to Salafiyah is about concerning that serving the people, and the Muslim in the way that is trying to unite the Muslim upon at-Tawheed wa Sunnah. So the Dawah to Salafiyah is about uniting the people upon at-Tawheed wa Sunnah. At times it and caution against al-munkarat wal bidah, and also inviting the people to regarding concerning things of khair and things of Islam. So that's concerning Dawah to Salafiyah. So Dawah to Salafiyah that is calling the people with hikmah. The Prophet ﷺ was the best example, and the Sahaba. So is clarifying to the people, clarifying to the masses regarding Islam and the best use of the mahasin of Islam. Then is of something that the da'i should be mindful of. So said Dawah to Salafiyah, contrary to what some people may perceive, that is not about scaring the people away from Islam, but rather to invite the people to Islam with hikmah, and also inviting people to Islam that to the sunnah and to implement the sunnah, and also to understand at-tawheed wal aqidah, and to caution the people against shirk wal bidah. That's concerning of and encouraging good and forbidding of evil. That's concerning of the aim of Dawah to Salafiyah, of the aim and the purpose behind Dawah to Salafiyah. And if you might find some who may claim a Salafiyah but opposite this, then I see it as a shortcoming in that person. Then that may be a shortcoming in that person or individuals, that they are not representing the dawah as it should. So it's a shortcomings in the individual, not per se what the dawah actually represents. And also of the things regarding that he mentioned بعض الدعاة يشغل الفتن قولا وفعلا. Some of the people that also يشعل, some of the people يشعل, some people that know that they are the ones whom that they help to fan the fire of fitna. So unfortunately, concerning some of the du'at of the sunnah or du'at who are there, that of those things that you'll find that they are the ones who they are fanning or igniting al-fitna between the Muslim and separation between the Muslim, whether by way of their speech or by way of their actions. So of the thing that for the da'i to be mindful of, that he does not fall into this. So I mentioned وَلَا تُنَفِّرُوا, not to be of those who are pushing the Muslim away. Also for that person of pushing the people away from Islam and running the people away from Islam, that the da'i also that he finds himself that he's always a part of whatever fitna, is always in the mix of things, whether by way of his speech or by way of his action. Then that becomes something that to be mindful of. So you find that that da'i or that the approach is always seems to be that where there's a fitna, they're always a center of that fitna. Then that becomes something that needs to be weighed up. Why is this? Why is that the case? And those, whether that da'i or those of those du'at, that their involvement either by way of speech, that sometimes that their speech is somewhat very, that they're not very responsible in the things that they say and that they do. So at times that they might act without knowledge, and then they try, or they speak without knowledge. As mentioned by Imam Bukhari, al-ilm qabla qawl al-amal. That a person, as Imam Bukhari mentioned, al-ilm, that knowledge, it precedes speech and action. So for a person not to be of that one that always involved in fitna and bringing fitna to the people. So the people, so for the da'i to be mindful of this. And this is also, they mentioned that, we'll find out this becomes, that you find that a da'i, that he moves away from ilm al-sahih and from the hukama amongst the ulama. When a da'i can have somewhat move and isolate himself from the people of the sunnah and also al-ilm and also the ulama of the sunnah, then he find himself always a part of the fitna. So of those things, so you find this today, a person maybe at once, you find this that a person, they start to gravitate toward the people of bid'ah, wal ahwa. So anything that they say is fitna. Anything that they do, sometimes fitna. So you find that a person that at times that they're exposed to the sunnah, but then they start to associate with people who are known to have a khurafat, wal mukhalafat. Then you find that every time that person speak or do something, you see something which is odd, to the extent that at times you don't want to speak to that person. So they're always having things of shubahat. Then that person, the person that may become a center of fitna, when on whatever level. So those individuals to be mindful that they do not fall into that regarding whenever they speak, then it always becomes a matter of fitna. Always khilaf between him and others. What is mu'tad, what is somewhat known and established, the person always comes with something which is odd. And those odd things are mainly known regarding al-bidah. So of those things regarding the person not becoming a source or igniting al-fitna between the Muslim, igniting fitna between the Muslim. Then also I mentioned in al-wasail al-tawasul al-ijtima'iyya, regarding concern of those things regarding that a person be mindful of regarding of the things, the fitna that occur a lot. Is regarding the use of what we consider of wasail al-ijtima'iyya, they call them today social media. So the social media to be even mindful, as we mentioned, tathabbut, and not being a source of fitna. So all this can sound like a chain. So for a person also to be mindful before the person might speak in a masjid, and just the people in the masjid might understand just the dars. But today, everything is now being recorded in most part, put on social media and these different platforms. So the person might speak just to a small group of people. Now he's speaking to the entire dunya. So regarding concern a person that's not being mindful regarding what is said, what is done, especially when those things are being publicized to the world in general, that a person does not become a source of fitna in the things that one says, and also in the things that one does with a person may destroy himself overnight because of not mindful and going against the sunnah and against the dawah. So Shaykh mentioned also this is the matter that you'll find today, of the matter that you'll find today. So at times it spread fitna quickly and also can be a source of the person's destruction quickly. So at times it be a source of the person. So the one to be mindful regarding these matters. Then Shaykh mentioned that he mentioned ihtidad bil-rahi, where a person at times go ihtidad, where a person also at times go over the top regarding al-rahi, going over the top with adam musharra' al-dawah wal-ilm, that a person also ad-dawah, or the person not consulting with others. So regarding concern a person that a person at times may believe that whatever that views or ideas that they may have, then that becomes the idea, without consulting with others, especially concerning those of the people of hukama, those people that are known that to be either that they have good experience, they have ilm and experience in that field. So they have ilm and second, they have experience in that field, not consulting with people who are specialists in their field. So the da'i might have an idea, and what he tries to do at times, he tries to reinforce his ideas with speaking with people whom, they're the yes mans. They're the yes people. The people who just gonna somewhat just accept and agree with the idea and not per se look at it carefully. So for the da'i, but as for people who may scrutinize that idea and look at it carefully and may have some disagreement, that the person will not consult such people. So it's important regarding and important that for the da'i that he speaks to people of ilm. So you might find that so said not speak to people who are known to be talabatul ilm, that he can gain from their experience. And people have some knowledge and experience. But the person speaking to people who are not the du'at regarding certain matters, then he's not going to get beneficial advice and critique. So the Shaykh mentioned that of those things regarding that of people, regarding their ideas, a person might have an idea and he wants to alter his idea. So the person, he does not consult with people that are people to consult with. People that he should consult with, he avoid them somewhat. So this is something that in Islam can mention, وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ. Allah Ta'ala mentioned, وَأَمْرُهُمْ, that as for their affairs, shura, that is a matter of shura, that they consult each other. So consulting each other and matters is important, even matters regarding a dawah. So it's important regarding concern those people who are involved in dawah, that they have a platform or ways that they can communicate and discuss things in a proper way, where things are put between themselves and they discuss the ins and outs of those things regarding the benefit of the dawah. Also to know that rarely you find this. The ulama of past, that they are concerned, the ulama of past, the use of communication, the use of communication between themselves. They write by way of letters between themselves, discussing matters and consulting each other in matters when they meet or consult each other regarding what's taking place in their region. So they mentioned of the benefit of Hajj, of the ulama, that even the ulama attending Hajj, is that they can meet of the ulama from different areas. And they can sit and discuss concerning what's taking place in that area, and they can somewhat try to benefit from each other's experience and practices. But we said, no, you find that today that not as so far even concerned that the du'at in their respective countries uses the utmost what type of platform that you have regarding to consult on matters. What are the platform that you have to consult on matters? You'll find that in most places, not many. And in most part, everyone can somewhat have their own idea, and they just function in that manner. We have their own idea, and they just act upon their own ideas without consulting and discussing the matter with other people who are said to be of the Talabat al-Ilm or even the Mashaykh. Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah mentioned التشاور لابد أن توفر فيه ثلاثة أمور. That regarding concerning tashawur, having like these advice type of discussing matter with each other and consulting between each other, mention of the thing the person should have in place, and yakuna sahibud deen, that of the thing that the person is going to consult on matters regarding deen between the du'at. We're talking about regarding concerning people the du'at, and matters regarding that of the thing the person who we're going to consult is a person of deen, especially the matter regarding a dawah, that a person that maybe that he has that he is known to be upright upon his deen. He is known to be upright upon his deen and also of good character. So consulting people, where they mention that a person hatta itasaddaq bi nasiyah, where a person can accept his nasiyah, that a person have to be upon deen. And the person also, that a person not known for al-ghish wal-khida, that a person not known to be a person that he tries to deceive others, he's not genuine thing that he says, you don't want such person. So the person who have diyana, that is going to be upfront and try to be as genuine as possible regarding that advice as he's going to give. So regarding of the things regarding mashura, that consulting others, that one, the person of diyana, and that's in general in life. But we said in particular regarding matters regarding a dawah, that discuss regarding people who are known to be of the du'at, and they are known to be upright on their deen, and also of people of aql. Then I mentioned a second, in yakuna sahib al-ilm, that is second, the person of ilm. So the second thing that you want in consulting others, that the person be of ilm. The person be of ilm. So of those things you mentioned, فَاسْأَلْ بِهِ خَبِيرًا. So I mentioned that and ask those regarding those people who have concern that people of intellect, those people of experience and knowledge. So of the second thing regarding people that want consult people who have al-ilm. Then he mentioned the third, أن يكون صاحب العقل والرحي السديد, رحي سديد. That the third thing, that consulting people are said to be people who have that mature in how they look at things. And the people that they're known to be people that they look at things in a very mature and also look at things in a mature way. So people are able to look at things in a mature way. Then you want those people as people to consult. So people do not fulfill the criteria. Then if you consult them, then you have to take consequence of that, of what comes from them. So as you mentioned, people of diyana, people of ilm, and also people of that mature thinking. People of mature thinking, I would say today, so people of mature thinking. So as concerned of those matters that I mentioned, of the things that for the da'wah regarding قلة العقل, he mentioned قلة زيارة وتفقد أحوال إخوان والدوات. At times also regarding قلة الزيارات, that not visiting each other. So not so little visit or not visiting of each other, and also regarding du'at, and also trying to know the affairs of those du'at. So not giving attention to the affairs of the du'at and their situation, not giving those things attention in between the du'at. So that again, not consulting, not having that level of communication between themselves, where they're not per se having that discussion or those ways that they can consult each other, see what's taking place with each other, and learn from each other experience, especially those ones who are involved. So it's imperative for the du'at to have a way of communication where they can discuss things and know what is going on between each other or with each and their situation and their environment. So those are the things Shaykh mentioned. As I mentioned, Imam Shafi rahimahullah regarding concern having that relation between the people of the Sunnah, that I mentioned, فَإِذَا رَأَيْتُ رَجُلٍ, if you see a man من أصحاب الحديث, from the people of hadith, فَكَأَنِّي رَأَيْتُ رَجُلٍ من أصحاب النبي عليه السلام, that he mentioned that to show concern that type of relationship that the Salaf had with each other and how they saw each other. That they mentioned, فَإِذَا رَأَيْتُ رَجُلٍ, if I was to see a person من أصحاب الحديث, from the people of hadith. So what that they mention is as if I'm seeing someone from the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. So they show that a person that give attention to knowing the affairs of your companions, the people of hadith and the people of the Sunnah. And not kind of somewhat to so that cut off oneself from the people of the Sunnah. So he's over there just doing his own thing. And this one over there doing his own thing, which is the situation that we're in today. Everyone doing their own thing. Without any form of working relation. Where you find today that some people that people would intentionally try to cut off others. People intentionally try to cut off others because they don't want that type of so whatever the reason may be, you might find that some who claim to be of the Sunnah, they'll intentionally cut off and try not to work with others. For whatever the reason may be, and those reasons from the shaitan. Those reasons said no, it goes back to Dawah al-Aql. It goes back to the personal weakness. You understand that the person that not wanting to work with others upon the Sunnah, and they have experience and they have the ilm and all those things we had mentioned, that it shows that either person have weakness in their self-esteem, their intelligence. So some of the person that said self-esteem. So sometimes there's a weakness in self-esteem. That person might feel that the other person that maybe you see as superior to you. So that go back to self-esteem. Or that person, whatever the reason may be, but those things are from the shaitan. But said overall, whatever those things that may come to the person, you see there's something from the shaitan. And seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And do the opposite. But I said not to cut off that relationship between the people of Sunnah, especially when the people of Sunnah, Qaleel, especially when the people of Sunnah, they're the minority. So the Shaykh mentioned that the people of Sunnah, not to minimize regarding that relationship between themselves, by trying to build that bond and working relation between themselves in trying to said the focus about the sunnah. But Tawheed is spreading the Dawah. It's spreading the Dawah, that's the focus. Then he mentioned of those things regarding Qillat al-Aql, he mentioned al-ghulu fil mad wal-jafafi, that of those things that he has mentioned regarding Qillat al-Aql, of intellect, maturity, ghulu fil mad, where people go over the top in praise, wal-jafafi, and also at times that the opposite, where people are deserving to be praised, you don't give them that praise or that recognition. So at times a person might recognize or praise others in a way that they are not deserving. And that can go from the mashayikh, talabat al-ilm, wal jamaat, where people sometimes will go over the top in praising some over others. And at times the opposite. So he mentioned regarding that al-ghulu fil mad, where the person of intellect is not a sign of a person of intellect that and wisdom, that he goes over the top in praise. When people see it, and people start to become somewhat cautious about that person. And you find that this matter become overly praise, that you have to be mindful of. Person that praise of mashayikh, over the top. With a person that's a bit over the top. So praise of mashayikh, when a person has to go over the top, then that shows that a weakness in a person's intellect. We are unable to put things in their proper place, even praise of others. And it shows that and that shows that one emotion one emotion is overcoming that person. So praise of mashayikh from the ulama, mashayikh, talabat al-ilm, that we have to praise them for what they're deserving, without going over the top. Then praise over the top, praise when people see that, people start to become cautious. And next type of praise you have to be mindful of is praise of the hukam, over the top praise. Where a person that's in praise of the hukam, that you're giving them description that you're thinking, are they talking about Omar or Abu Bakr as-Siddiq? So over the top in praise of the hukam, yes, they have rights, they have to be given their rights and their hukuk, but as for praising them, then it's something that one should not also go over the top in praising of the hukam. Then also, al-salah, people are said to be righteous people. So the person may not be a person of ilm, but he's known to be a person who is known for his piety and involved in doing of khair and good. That also in those people of al-khair wa al-salah, that also not going over the top in praising them, as they call them awliya. So people they see as righteous, then people start to overly praise them, till at some point they become an object of worship. So over the top in praising of people of those category, one have to be mindful. When we find people doing so, then it's going to somewhat, as said, to be careful. And in these days that they mentioned, the Shaykh, he mentioned, Hafidullah, he mentioned that al-mad labud fihi yani arba shurut. He mentioned that in praising of others, 4 things to be mindful of. 4 conditions. 1, an yakun al-mad sidq, that concerning that the mad that is being given or a praise, it should be done genuinely. You genuinely want to praise that person, so being truthful in the truth that you're praising a person for a quality he possesses. So you praise a person for a quality he possesses. So being truthful in what you're saying, not to speak of things that a person does not possess. And also not to go over the top in praising the person or that praise. So not to exceed the limits and to go over the top in that praise. The third, أن يأمن على الممدوع إعجاب والفتن والغرور والكبر. And also that you feel secure that that person, feel secure that that person that you're praising or that you're praising, that not the person not becomes, it not go to his head, as they say. It doesn't, they start sow the seed of kibr in the person, that see himself, that pride start to becomes a fitna for the person, becomes a trial for the person, so not to praise a person, to believe that person is not able to manage it well. It will be a fitna for him or for her if you praise them over the top, that person is unable to manage it. And I mentioned وأن يكون فيه تنشيط أو تحفيز وتنشيط للممدوح. So also I mentioned that it is allowed regarding if praising a person as a way of considering tansheed, that can somewhat help the person to encourage that person regarding that thing. So if something that is done which will encourage the person in that thing that they're doing which is good, then with all those conditions it's allowed. So I mentioned the 4 conditions. So the 4 conditions that praise is done with sidq, you're genuine and for something the person possess, not going over the top in praising of the person. Also, 3rd, that you feel somewhat secure that the person, it would not impact negatively on that person. The person would not take it over the top and becomes a fitna for them. And also the 4th thing, that if praising a person might be a source for that person to encourage the person to continue on that good, then with all those conditions, it's allowed. It's allowed with all those conditions. So the Prophet mentioned regarding Ibn Umar, Abdullah ibn Umar mentioned, Ni'ma Rajul Abdullah. He talked about Ibn Umar, Ni'ma Rajul Abdullah. That no, so praising him. Ni'ma Rajul Abdullah. So saying no, this Abdullah, Rata'ala anhuma, that is a blessed person. Abdullah mentioned him by name in praising him, so praising a person mentioned by name. وَلَوْ كَانَ يُصَلِّي مِنَ اللَّيْلِ. Then mention of the thing that if he like as a form to encourage him to pray more at nights. So the person, a blessed person, but a way also to encourage him to pray more at nights. Then he can somewhat so praise him, but also encourage him regarding to carry through on certain things. So it shows regarding concerning that so as a form of encouraging a person, it could be done. Then so that's concern of those things regarding praise of individuals, of a time that regarding concern of what sometimes may come from some work that some of the people of Sunnah, there are times that excessive praise for Mashiach, excessive praise for individuals, then this to be mindful of. So everything to be done in its proper proportion. Everything to be done in its proper proportion. Then I mention al-ghulu fi ba'd ulama. Then I mention specifically of that topic, ghulu fi ba'd ulama. So you find that being excessive regarding the praise of certain of the ulama, or not even going over the top regarding individuals, or in particular some of the mashayikh, or some of the ulama. So a person may be a person of ilm, but also but individual might choose a particular individual among the people of ilm, and they're very excessive regarding them. And this occur in every. I'll find this is in our time. We can speak of our time that you find that is excessive regarding a particular mashayikh. It occurs whether intentionally or unintentionally. At times it occurs intentionally, and at times maybe unintentionally. And this ghulu regarding ba'd mashayikh, it occurs in different things, in different ways. So it's for the person regarding that not going to excessive regarding some of the mashayikh, where a person said it occurs in the past regarding concerning that we find that what became a taqleed of mashayikh wal ulama a'imma, where people start to blind follow Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, or Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, where people went over the board regarding their praise and the scholarship of those ulama, where everything a person can somewhat resign himself to one of the madhahib of those ulama. Whatever they say, it goes, without per se knowing what is said by others. That doesn't really change anything for the person. So excessiveness regarding the ulama is something that we have experienced in the past, and that is noted and discussed all the time regarding how one look to the ulama. It have occurred regarding A'immat al-Arba and others. Then in contemporary time, we have seen it have repeated. We see the repetition. So you find that a person might have a preference to one of the alim, one of the ulama over others, but still recognizing the others without excessiveness in his praise of the one that he may more inclined towards some of his views. And you might find no person, you find a person that agrees with an alim in everything that he says, then there's something wrong. Rarely you find a person that will agree with an alim in everything that he says. It really occurs. And if you find it in a person, then you know that is something to be looked into. If you ask some people today, the shit that you follow, do you believe they make a mistake? He may think, pause, and find difficulty to give you every answer except a straightforward answer. If you ask a person, Alim Fulan, do you believe that he have made an error, and can you show me one of his error? He may take, they said not give you that, he may go up the hill, down the valley before he can give you an answer. Which is not because he doesn't want to give an answer. So the straightforward answer is, what? Yes. Does an alim make error? Whether I'm aware of it, yes, I believe that everyone is capable of making error. Most of the ulama will have an error. Or all. Because they're not ma'soom. So yes, they will have error. Whether I'm aware of those things, that's the next matter. But for the person to kind of somewhat to believe, and this comes from the belief of Sunnah, that the ulama, they are not ma'soom. That they are not infallible. As for whether I'm aware of their error or not, then that's a different matter. But to believe that every alim is capable of making error and will have error, so the rule of all the ulama, that yusib wa yukhti. The ulama, they yusib, at times they will get things right, and at times they may fall into error. But falling into error, it does not mean for the person to degrade that alim. Not to see it as because you may disagree with an alim, it means that you are being disrespectful to the alim. That's not the case. So these things occur, and so you find that this ghulu regarding ba'd ulama, you find regarding that in contemporary time, that you can find cases of this. So you find that, as we said, that in ilm al-hadith, like in contemporary time, you find that some of the mashaykh or some of the talabat al-ilm, that regarding their ruling and their judgment on hadith, it goes back to one alim. You find that, and that for me, and to some that's ghulu. That in every matter regarding hukm on a hadith, you only rely upon one alim, whatever he says goes. Anyone that goes contrary to them, that may have a different view, then you will dismiss that view. Then that's ghulu. That's a form of ghulu. So if you believe that the hukm upon a hadith, everything goes back to that alim of yours, whatever he says, khalas. Anyone that may have a different view, then dismiss it, then that's ghulu. That's ghulu, that's ayn ghulu. Or in a matter of fiqh, anything that the alim says, I accept it, regardless. And I believe that he's right. Then at times that's the ghulu of Abu that occur regarding madhab al-arba. Then you have ghulu regarding what we find today regarding hukm al-ashkhas. Which matter go back to the kibar ulama regarding concerning will upon others. But if a person believes everything that the alim in matters they call matters concerning, they said manhajiyah, or matters concerning that person doesn't make an error, then that is, instead, that's ghulu. To believe that alim fulan, and a matter regarding hukm al-ashkhas, he doesn't make an error, then that's ghulu. Then you're saying the person is ma'soom. You're saying the person is ma'soom. What then? He said, knowingly or unknowingly. So I said that in all matters regarding ahkam al-shar'iyya, regarding alim in the ijtihad, he is capable of making error. And most likely, you will have an error. But said, no, you'll never find one person agree with him in everything. But in some cases, a person might lean towards an alim, you might have a certain type of love for an alim, then that's normal. That occurs. That's not a problem. But when you put him on that pedestal where everything that he says, you accept without questioning it, and believe that anyone that says opposite, then they are wrong and he's always right, then that's a problem. Then that becomes the problem. So regarding concern this matter that the person finds said moderation regarding this matter, فَالْقَصْ فِي كُلِّ شَيْءٍ يعني hasan. For a person to follow a middle path, a moderate way, a balanced way in everything, then that is what is required. So for the du'at, not to fall into this al-ghulu towards others. So they mentioned an-nas regarding the ulama of three types. من الناس of those people, man ghala fi hub ba'd ulama, that of the people who they go over the top regarding their praise and their admiration for some of the ulama, they go over the top, and that they place him on a certain pedestal that is even said, that is indirectly close to that of the Anbiya. Close to that of the Anbiya. We can start to see that person as something which is become like something of a godlike type of person. Taqdees al-ashkhas. So, taqdees al-ashkhas, they said, that become of prominent regarding the Shia, that they kind of somewhat turn their leaders into like a godlike figures, and also Ahl Sufi, Tasawwuf. They're the ones who go over the top regarding individuals, where they place people beyond what they're deserving. Then I mentioned second, minhum man ghala fi dhanb al-ulama. Then you have the next sort of group who go that they over the top in attacking the ulama. And you see this today online. There's certain people, especially regarding concerning mashaykh who are known to be of the sunnah wa tawheed wa salafiyah, that the people that they're always attacking them. So you find that those people attacking them. So you find those people attack with a Sheikh Albani, Sheikh Muqbil, in whatever way they can find, Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, Sheikh bin Baz, and the likes, and of contemporary Sheikh Fawzan, Sheikh Mohsin Abad, and the likes. Then anything they can find to attack them and to so-called expose them, they'll mention those things. Then that's a sign that a person, he falls into this category. غلو في ذنب العلماء, regarding they fall into all attacking, and in particular the ulama of the sunnah. I would not say those ulama are ma'soom. So we're not saying those ulama or any is ma'soom, infallible, but why you're always attacking them? Why you're always attacking the people who are known to be of the ones who are trying to explain the sunnah wa tawheed. Then you find the third category mentioned, al-qasd, that a person trying to find a balanced approach. The third category concerning al-qasd, wal-ihtidal wa inzal al-ulama wa nas manazilihim, where the person try to put the people in their proper place, putting people in their proper place. Of that, the ulama. So of those people, the ulama, that we have ihtiram, of respect, mahabba, love for the ulama, their juhud, for their efforts, for their ilm. We love them for this and honor them for this, for all their life. So if you look concerning the track record of a majority of the ulama, that their track record all their life is spent in ilm. By the time they're before they reach maturity, they memorize the Quran and have memorized mutun. And then in their teens, they're studying these mutun. In adulthood, they're studying until they can somewhat reach the peak. Then all their life is known only for ilm, wa dawah. Then yes, you have to respect those people, and they're upon at-tawheed wa sunnah. So these ones upon at-tawheed wa sunnah, then we have to respect them, and they're known for their zud, they are known for their zud. Zud in English. Whatever zud is in English, aesthetic type of lifestyle. They are known regarding concern their juhud regarding ad-dawah. Wal al-amr bil ma'ruf nahy al-munkar, that those people are known for these qualities. Then you have to respect them for this. You have to respect them. So, but it doesn't mean that one go over the board regarding, but placing them in the given the respect that they're deserving, but without going over the top. It doesn't mean that, yes, in most part, the ulama of the sunnah, past and present, we agree, the Talib al-Ilm and the general Muslim agree with most things that they say, but few points you may disagree with them on. You find points here and there might disagree concerning the Talib al-Ilm, that the Duwat may disagree with them on certain points of ijtihad, but it doesn't remove regarding that respect and love for the ulama. And also regarding of those good, that so is having that ihtidal regarding our one approach of matters regarding the ulama. Then he mentioned of matters that we'll end with, he mentioned of the things that to be mindful regarding the duwat, dukhul fi siyasa. Dukhul fi siyasa. Entering into what they call politics today. As-siyasa, they say politics. That's how I translate regarding what is practiced today in most part in the West and exported to some of the places of to others. that the siyasa that they practice today, that is deceit. Now, the siyasa that is practiced today in most by the West and export to other places is just deception. It is trying to gain control over others. From the West, it is trying to control others. Now, so everyone just to fall in line with their doctrine. So whoever seems to be the superpower, or the one is for others, so that's going to somewhat to fall in line with them and to become subjugated to them. Yeah, that's siyasat in those ones. But as for as-siyasat al-shar'iyya is regarding, it's not per se politics, it is governance of the people according to Sharia. It's governance of the people. So the person has responsibility for him now to execute this according to the Sharia. That's as-siyasat al-shar'iyya. So yes, there's people who will have responsibility concerning the head of the states and the wuzara and others who have certain responsibility regarding governance over others, is to do so according to the Sharia. And this is said, so the whole siyasa that we have today, that want to be mindful of. Shaykh Albani rahimahullah, of the ulama of contemporary times, that he mentioned min siyasa of politics, al-an, in meaning during our time, tarak as-siyasa is leaving siyasa. So min siyasa of politics, al-an, in our time, tarak as-siyasa is not get involved in the politics of the people that we see being practiced today, because it's about deception and treachery and lies and the likes. So for the Muslim to get involved in this, and you find that, and I said, over the praise of politicians that for quality they don't possess, and things that are not realistic. So this excessive praise and support of a party or a government or a ruler for things that they're not deserving that type of praise. Now, then that becomes a problem. So you find this to be a practice between many, a practice of many regarding that, the state, you will support them in everything. Even the wrong, clear wrong they're doing. Then that's not proper. Now, so as the Sheikh mentioned, so especially concerning Dawah, get into politics, most from said not by track, said most who have entered into politics, then it hasn't led to a good end. Of most who have entered into politics, then sometimes it hasn't led to a good end. So I want us to be mindful of this. So be mindful regarding entering into things regarding politics, that be mindful of this, as it can lead to many that to their own destruction, can lead to their destruction. So you find from the Salaf, of those who are somewhat, they abstain from regarding politics, or so the find of the ulama, who those who kind of somewhat refrain from entering or taking position in the state. And that's what so you find the concern that amongst them who are known, the Hanabila. So you find that the ulama of the Hanabila, that in many of them abstain from getting too involved in matters regarding the state. And others, but also others who did get involved in sense of trying to establish things that are Islamic. So try to establish things that are Islamic and supporting the state in things that are Islamic, that you find that some of the ulama did get involved or took certain position for those reasons. So you find regarding concerning, so of matter regarding al-qudat, it requires concerning people who are people of ilm. So you don't have the people who are not qualified to take those roles. So regarding concerning that, of things of certain position, it needs to be taken by people of ilm, of those concerning the qudat, the judges, a'immat al-masajid, matters regarding religious matters of those things, education matters. They need people of ilm to be also a part of their set, but within certain boundaries. So those are things he mentioned, and other things, because of time we can somewhat stop at this. And I was said to note that the author, Hafidullah, that he discussed concerning of those things, that of the setbacks regarding the dawah and the du'at are some of these things that he had mentioned. So he placed it, so in summary, that he placed them into three things that for the da'i to be mindful of, or the du'at. The one, that a person not fall into things that are classed as daf, ad-diyana or deen, or a person regarding his deen and his practice of Islam is somewhat not in line, weakness in his deen, and we said no, those are not the person, he's not praying. So that doesn't mean the person is not praying, is not fasting. It's the person regarding other matters, regarding al-ikhlas, regarding and those matters, love of attention, wanting to be the one who's always speaking, going and said traveling the world to give dawah. Then that's that objective. That's not the person's main objective. They said the ones who travel throughout the world. They said that in most part, if you ask those people who travel the world, before you travel that place, the people that you're coordinating with are the people, the du'at in those countries, and what system, I said, what you're going there for, to achieve. What are you going there to just give a lecture? But what would be, so for what are you actually trying to achieve in going there? And after you have left, what's the consequence? Understand? Do you keep do you keep in contact with those people regarding what's going on concerning what you started? So trying to be everywhere, and sometimes it's not fruitful. Trying to be everywhere is not fruitful, especially if there's not people in that place. Continue your effort. I listened to one of the Mashaykh that he was one of the professors in the university in Medina, and he's discussing the book Hilat Talabat al-Ilm. He's discussing the book Hilat Talabat al-Ilm, book of Adab Talib al-Ilm. So he said of those things that he was mentioned, that he mentioned a Shaykh name, I forgot the Shaykh name that he mentioned, that he used to give dawah in Africa. So the Shaykh was giving dawah in Africa. So the thing that he would do, he would get students from Africa to go to the Islamic university. Didn't he mention, not per se, but you get the university students to go to an Islamic university in a country that is wealthy. So he said that when the students go to university and they complete their study, because they're in that country which is wealthy, Muslim country is wealthy, that they get used to that type of what? Lifestyle. So when they finish, they don't want to come back to their country. And even we in the West faces that, for whatever reason may be. So a person might go to a country, so when they get used to that type of lifestyle and living style, so go back to his country. You see, he says, I'm going to go back to my country. For what? But his purpose when he left was to go back, was to go to study and come back to his country to spread the part down. So the Shaykh would kind of somewhat, he would send people or arrange for people to go out to these countries, to go to his Islamic university to study so they can come back to help him in the dawah. But you know that people are not coming back to help in the dawah. So what he did? Guess what he did? He decided, let's establish a university, or we said like an institute like those in Africa. So the people that you study in your country, in your continent. So you understand. So you're still within your region and not go overseas and get affected by that place where you don't want to come back to your place. So establish something within that region or within that locality where the people that they go there, when they finish, they have nowhere to go but their own back. So looking at it, so it said even in the West, God said, of the thing that we find, those who go and they do not want to come back, they, for whatever reason may be, and whatever they want to do, that's a different matter. So the thing that in the West, regarding to a certain amount of years, the dawah now is in the West, we need institutions, proper institution. So I said, done in a collective way. In most part, what we find is done a single person effort. Single person effort. And most of a single person effort, it doesn't have the same impact. Now, it needs a collective effort. And we said no, and there's example by others who have done it. The ones who are upon the sunnah, they are the ones who are behind on this. Others, I've set the example, we find that others that they have established these institutes in different regions. They'll go and get the outskirts of the cities. They get a big building and they turn it into a college or some type of mahad for a learning institute where people, sometimes the kids will go there and they'll spend years there as like a boarding school. What if people suddenly don't have one and not working towards having one? With all the grads that we have in the country now, why we are not collectively trying to establish something like this? Why? So, and we have the people of Sunnah, which are the people that in specific terms of Salafiyah, that you have different masajid or regions that affiliate to Salafiyah. But we don't have no proper places regarding education and also teaching people to be du'at. We have things, what said, is not done in a what? In a collective way. Not just a one-person effort. Not a one-person, but a collective, in a person said that it can mirror, for example, Medina University to some degree. Or to a higher level, with a person when they finish 5 years, that they can be now teachers, qualified, or have that level of training regarding all the science. So we have people who have studied, who have graduated, or people on that level regarding, we have people can regarding the Lugha, teach the language through traditional books. We have people who have studied hadith, who can study hadith, teach hadith. We have people who have studied fiqh, usul al-fiqh, tafsir. So we don't have an institute. And not working towards doing so. And we said in a collective way. Not what we see today. We said the more collective, on a broader level. With me? Well, we're not working towards those things. So said the Sheikh idea was, he kind of somewhat flipped things. He used to send people, so said looking at the Sheikh, he used to send people outside, but then he started that was not working well. They're going to somewhat change the mindset. Let's get something local, let the people train local so they can go back to their local communities. And that was the initial intention. So it says now even us in the West that we need this type of institute representing Ahlul Sunnah wal Hadith. Because others, they have them all over the place. But the people of Sunnah, we don't have one that is collectively done, to my knowledge. We find that those people are qualified in a week, and during the week, they go to those places, teach. The weekend, you go back to your local community for those, and you can still also help them down, or you can stay there. But it's doing something, working out all the details in establishing an institute representing the Dawah of Ahlul Sunnah, or Tawheed. From the people who are, that they can gather between themselves. وبالنسبة لذات إن شاء الله تعالى وأن وبالله تعالى توفيق وهذا السبيل والآخر دعوانا الحمد لله العالمين.